What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sirr Love from Phase 6. Here's another snippet from Chasing Greatness. How to communicate your vision to find investors. That's an interesting conversation. Joseph out of San Diego wants to talk about investors. That's a dope conversation. I want to have that conversation. Let's see where he wants to go with this conversation. Many of us are always looking for investors, so let's see where it goes. Here we go.
Sirr Love.
Joseph, how you doing, my guy?
Hey, doing great, man.
Super solid, man. Super solid, bro. I appreciate you reaching out. I saw your message. I was going through. I got quite a few of them, and I saw your message about investors, and I said, you know what? A lot of people probably have this same question, so I'm really curious to see where you're going. I've been in so many different investor conversations in my career, so I'm intrigued here. So, you in Cali, you're a manager, right?
What did you say?
I said you're a manager, correct?
No, I'm a rapper.
You're the rapper, so you're the artist. Got it.
No Dream.
You said what?
No Dream.
Oh, this is Dreams.
Yeah.
Wait, time out, bro. This is when you used to talk about 2 years ago, a year ago, when you and your team were getting together in marketing, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Dream? Shit, God darn, I'm talking to you like the way you listed in my contacts. It doesn't even say Dreams, my guy. What's going on?
Yeah, because the last time we talked, I don't think I had the name yet.
Got it. How's it going?
Oh man, I've just been living my dreams. I found ways during this pandemic to make a living during music. You know, they say when there's crisis, there's also great opportunity. So I've just been looking at ways I can share the vision with investors, share the vision with other people who believe in what we're doing, and that's why I push. So I see you're starting a podcast.
Yeah.
So what's the is it like your YouTube channel?
It's going to be like the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting visuals to it. It's going to be dope. I don't want to oversell it because we're still working on it. But I mean, technically, you're live on it right now. I'm not live, but you're on it right now. So this conversation is being recorded and it's for the people to consume. So, I want to have a real life, conversation about investors with you, and other people are going to listen to us chat. So, yeah, that's where we've evolved to, man. I mean, it's been I think our first conversation was a while back. So you've seen the evolution of this whole thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were doing. I remember you had different team members. I talked to some of your team members. We talked about marketing and management. I think, I did the management info pack partially with your team in mind, as I recall, with some of the conversations that we were having. Yeah, man. So it's been a journey.
Yeah, thank you, Sirr Love. Your work has made a big difference in my career. I remember you sent me that thing about how people don't care about you, and like the example of the airplane crashing, and so you found out there was somebody that was in that city.
Yep.
And then all those questions, I went over that thing like 4 or 5 times, but I still check on it and answer those questions like, why do you matter? What is, what do you do for me? What do people need to know?
Wow.
All those questions really have helped giving me guidance through this time. I've always held on to that document. So
wow.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot about the music business side from your YouTube channel. You've given a tremendous amount of value. I found out about you when you were featured on Brandman Sean's channel a while back.
Yep. Yeah, Brandman's the guy. And you know what's crazy? That content that I sent to you was from a book that I had written a long time ago. To this day, I've never released that book. Like, to this day, I have not. That is the marketing book. That is like all of my gems, not all of them, but a lot of my gems in one place, and like my personal story. And I've never released the book. And I remember I sent you, I think like a quarter of a chapter from that book, and it included all that content in there. So for sure. And I remember that was the conversations that we were having. I remember like you needing to get to some basic things that were going to revolutionize the way that you thought about yourself. And I remember that being my thought, and hearing you regurgitate it back now is super rewarding for me to know that it actually had the impact that I thought it would have. So, and now fast forward, we're talking about investors. I mean, we're talking about getting money now. So what's going on? I mean, you got some people that want to throw some change at you. What's the story? Give me the background.
So my name's Joe Dreams. It actually comes from the story from the Bible of Joseph with the coat of many colors. He had dreams about, I don't know if you grew up in a Christian background or familiar with the story, but all the Christians know about that story. And like we were saying earlier, my birth name is Joseph, and I've always felt like I'm a dreamer, so that's how I came. And one of the things that Joseph is known for is his coat of many colors, and that's my brand, is that coat of many colors. And one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it's like a rainbow coat, and when I'm around people, they see the story, but when I'm around people in the world, like on the left, like politically, they believe it has to do with pride. You know what I'm talking about? So it's almost like a bridge between both, because during this time in our country where there's so much division and hatred, and you know, we got an election coming up, I've been going to protests all over the different cities, and I've been performing, doing my best to spread love and unity and helping us focus on what we have in common. So that's what I've been up to lately.
Okay. So, I mean, and I remember us talking about your brand a while back and trying to figure out, you know, what it was going to be, what it was going to stand for. And you were juggling a couple different things. And I remember when you found your pocket, and I told you, I said, yeah, that's your pocket, right? You really had a lot of motivational, uplifting concepts associated with your brand. And it sounds like you're living that truth. So I do commend you, first off, for finding that pocket and staying true to that pocket after all this time. I think my question is for you, because I know I'm reaching out and I'm calling quite a few people tonight, and I'm trying to make sure that I hit, you know, as many people as I can. Obviously, it's not quite, well, I guess it is tonight your time, but it's definitely tonight my time in Atlanta. But I wanted to try to address or add value around the investor portion in particular. So my question for you, so that I can zoom in and beam in on it. And for all those that are listening, Joe Dreams, you just heard the story. Check him out, obviously. That's the reason why my man's threw the name out there. You got to go check him out. He's doing his thing. So, Brother Dreams, what is your investor situation?
Okay, I see. Pardon my ADD.
You good, man.
Yeah. So, the mission what we're doing is to inspire people to live their dreams through hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been doing is I've been performing all over the place, just live, doing like freestyles, and people have been, you know, giving me money. And when people come up to my table, I do a freestyle for them, but then I ask them the question, "What is your dream?" Right? And then 8 out of 10 times they have no idea. And I realize it's a really big problem that people have. It's like they have no idea where the vision is, or where they're going, or what they love doing. And a lot of people are caught up in jobs that just really suck for them, or that they're not really excited about, and it seems like a chore, right? So what I want to do is a program that helps people find what their dream is, and so they can go live it. And me leading by example, by doing it myself, so they can. So, like, my logo is me jumping off the cliff. It's like kind of, you know, like the Jumpman logo on the Michael Jordan
right
brand. It's kind of like that, but me jumping off the cliff. And I remember I got the logo after I jumped, other people started jumping. at the place that took the photo at, and that's what I really want to be.
Okay.
For others.
Well, hold on, because you're kicking the pitch right now. Is there somebody that's interested in investing in you right now?
At the moment, I'm looking for investors.
Got it.
But I know they're out there because something like this, especially Black business during this time, I know I can find people who want to support that.
How many followers do you have?
I got like 250,000.
Got it. I literally just got off the phone with one of my colleagues that called me and said, hey, do you know anyone with 10,000 or more followers? There's this new grant they're giving for Black businesses. And if they're a Black business and you have over 10,000 followers, they're cutting you checks like right now. And I said, man, shoot, I don't know. I'll figure it out. And I would have literally lined you up with that right now if you told me you had 10,000. Because that call happened about like 2 hours ago. But I'll tell you this. So from a finding investor perspective, investors in music are people that have a lot of ancillary cash, disposable income, and they are looking for a lifestyle. If you want a safe bet on your investments, you invest in real estate. Right? You invest in, if you're familiar with the stock market, you invest in stocks. If you're a little more risky, you invest in cryptocurrencies. If you're safe, you do mutual funds, right? There's a whole lot of avenues to invest financially that allow you to get consistent returns, right? From a business perspective. When people invest in music, it's because they're intrigued with the lifestyle. They're intrigued with the messaging, the broader messaging and communication that, the implications that it has on people as a whole, or the youth, or whatever they're trying to influence. Or they had a childhood passion. There was a person that played in the band as a kid and always wanted to be a musician, and instead he was a salesperson or a doctor, and now he has the money to get back into it and he wants to do it. And then you also have people, those are generally the people that invest. So my advice to you, and the last token is also people that are trying to hide or shield money, which means a person that's involved in illegal activities, right? So my last bit of advice to you, or not last bit, my bit of advice to you would be, you need to figure out what people in your circle fall into these categories and target them with these conversations. I just gave you the profiles. That's game. That's game. These are the profiles of the people that spend money when it comes to investing in artists, right?
Okay. The thing is, it's because they believe in the cause and the type of lifestyle, and they want to promote that lifestyle. So this applies to not only investors, but people who just want to give donations as well.
No, it differs, because I remember some of our previous conversations in the past, right? A lot of your message, you are a person that's truly focused on creating change, right? And most artists are just focused on getting their music out there. Like, I honestly feel like for you would be more concerned with getting X amount of people to change their life than you would be with generating X amount of streams. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that you are a unique artist in that sense, because you have a moral clause. Because of that, for you, even some of the traditional avenues may not be best. You may need to partner with other organizations that have moral clauses. Honestly, a close friend of mine ended up moving into religious rap. He's a gospel rapper, and he is doing amazing things, in reference to having impact and change on people's lives. I know other artists that have gone into kind of this social reform space where they are, performing for nonprofits and contributing to nonprofits. And, I was in that space for a while doing music therapy for nonprofits. I partnered with Neo in the Compound Foundation and Chris Kids organization in the state of Georgia and Atlanta, and we did music therapy for kids. And there was opportunities, obviously, to generate revenue in this space and set up concerts and stand at third. You may need to start looking through those avenues for what you're trying to do, because what you're trying to do isn't going to be a traditional music pathway. I think that since you have such a passion for music, sometimes your passion for music and your message and your goal from a morality standpoint clash, and you have to find harmony between these ideas. And that's going to be going to a space where you can truly excel, because I mean, you don't have to be a famous rapper to make a career out of rapping. Like, I literally know people that just do private events and make great money, and they, you know, have, just like Sinbad, the comedian, right?
I see. So what you're saying is that, hey, if you want to do something more moral like that, then you want to find the people that want that kind of, and it doesn't have to be the traditional rap path.
Yes. Right? Correct. Okay. That's the direction that you should go personally for investors, because any other pathway, you'll be creating a confusing conversation where you're talking about, you know, investments and return on investments and streaming and this, that, and the third. And truly, that's not really your goal. Your goal is to impact people, change lives, and make people better. Right? That's the whole concept of dreams, with the religious story behind it, with the jump man on the, jumping off the cliff, with I want to inspire you to follow your dreams and just take the leap of faith. You know, all of these different concepts. I support all these concepts, but, I think that the space that you're in may not be conducive to what you're trying to go. So align yourself with that space. Really beam in on those opportunities. Okay, so let me ask you something. Because my approach has been like how I see it, like tofu, right? So how do they sell tofu? Right? They'll make hamburgers or hot dogs. They'll make it just like the stuff that people are used to eating, but it's better for you. So that's my approach with music, because I see myself topping the billboard with my music and what I've been able to do lately. And I believe I can make music and have the message that I want in there in a way that appeals to a mass audience, like radio and stuff like that. Because those are the people that I want to reach. I do it in a way like a Trojan horse. So I support the vision, but if you're going to be a Trojan horse, you have to be committed to the horse. Like, if you want to be a Trojan, and this is for everyone. I hope everyone's catching this right now. If you want to be a Trojan horse, because there are a lot of people that do music for moral purposes. If you want to be the Trojan horse, which goes back to the story of Troy in when they invaded, what was it, Athens that they invaded, or Sparta? No, Sparta teamed up with Athens and they fought against Troy, whatever. So, right, Troy, and that's the big battle of Achilles, right, and Hector. So when you talk about the Trojan horse, the thing about it is you got to be committed to that horse. You got to be 100% committed to making the best possible horse ever. You can't be focused on what's going to happen when the horse gets inside the gates of the enemy. You have to first be focused on how to make this gift as visually appealing as possible, how to send the message that we surrender, that we want to be a part of you, accept us. How can I force you to accept me? Like, all of those components would have to be your focus first. Right now, your focus is, how do I change lives? And maybe your focus has to be, how do I create something that makes everybody accept it first? Because that's what the Trojan horse was. And then after they received it, then they got, in the Trojan War, then everyone hopped out the horse, started running around killing people, right? So I think for you, your language to me is not focused on the horse. It's focused on what you're going to do when you get behind the enemy gates. So I want you to take that metaphor and really think about that, because yes. Wait,
I'm sorry. You got cut off for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, I want you. What I'm basically saying is that your language and your approach and thought process is not structured currently to pursue investors that are going to allow you to be that Trojan horse that can see the output and total return on what they're looking to do. If you want to be the Trojan horse, then all of this motivational speaking talk that you're doing needs to almost disappear. And all of your conversations should be about your fans, your audience, your merch sales, traditional business stuff associated with music and return on investment. And then later they find out, oh, in addition to me doing all these sales and this, that, and the third, I also have a positive message. I'm also working with nonprofits. I'm also, right? You can't lead with that if you have the Trojan horse approach.
Okay.
You don't need the Trojan horse approach. If you don't use the Trojan horse approach, you can just target those organizations, but those organizations aren't going to lead you on that multi-platinum, billboard path that you want to be on. Study Lecrae. Lecrae is a dope person to study, or Sho Baraka, other gospel rappers, because you can kind of see some of the spaces you can get caught up in. And then there are other very religious rappers. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is religious. Chance the Rapper is super religious. DMX was super religious, even though he was super conflicted at the same time. So there's a lot of frameworks to follow, right? But I do want to catch one more person before I conclude this episode today. But Dreams, it was super dope to catch up with you. Glad you're still doing it. Glad you that the vision and the branding that we kind of identified a long time ago, that you stuck with it, because at that time period you were trying to figure out who you are, and obviously being that this held so long, you know who you are. I just think you're trying to figure out how to position who you are to the rest of the world in a palatable way. And maybe it's multi-billboard success, or maybe it's being a local legend, or maybe it's making a sustainable career. I think you got to figure that out and figure out what you're willing to sacrifice to get what you want. But I do appreciate you reaching out, man, and I enjoy talking to you every single time. But I got to hit a couple other people, my guy.
All right, Sirr Love. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you too. All right, Joe. I appreciate you, brother. Super dope. Wow, Joe. Joe inspires so many things. Joe and his team inspired so many things. They let me know very early on. This is one of the cats that when I first, started doing the show, the channel, really gave me insight into what you all needed and what you were experiencing and challenges that you were facing and how conflicted we can be as artists and creatives and people in the business. And super dope to talk to Joe. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Check us out at www.phasevi.com. Again, that's www.phasevi.com. Beam in.